Hi, this is Scott with eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at and installing the eTrailer Class 3 hitch on our 2016 Ford Edge. Our eTrailer hitch on our Ford Edge today is really a good looking hitch. It's going to be a matte black carbide finish, so it's going to hold up really well to the elements. It's not going to rust out on you. It's going to hold up really well to scrapes and scratches and be a really durable finish. This one you will see a little bit of the cross tube hanging down, but it doesn't look too bad. It really doesn't take away from the look of our vehicle. And I think it looks pretty good on this one. This hitch is going to be good for people that are looking for something that, they want to haul some bike racks around, maybe cargo carrier, or even pull some small trailers. This hitch is going to be great for that, and it's going to really open up your possibilities of different things that you can do with your Edge. This hitch is going to have a 5/8 pinhole opening, and that's going to hold in any of your accessories that you put on the back. Now this one won't come with a pin and clip, so you may want to pick one up here at eTrailer, but keep in mind a lot of your accessories now will have a pin and clip with that. Now another nice option for these is your locking pin. That's going to allow you to lock in your accessories. So like say you're down the bike trail and you have your nice bike rack on the back, that's going to lock that in place so it can't be taking off while you're down the trail. This hitch is going to have heavy duty welded on chain loops, and you're going to be able to use the S style hooks or the Clevis style hooks. Both of those work out really nicely for your trailer towing needs. As far as measurements go, from the center of our pinhole out to the edge of our bumper, we're looking at right around 4 inches. And with that measurement, you'll be able to find out that if any of your accessories that fold up and stow away will make any contact with the back of your vehicle. Now from the inside top of our receiver to the ground, we're looking at 13 inches. And with that number, you'll be able to find out if you need any rise of like the shanks of like your cargo carriers or your bike racks for clearance. As far as weights go for this hitch, we're looking at a tongue weight rating of 600 pounds. That's going to be the total weight pushing down on the lower portion of the inside of your receiver. That's going to be the total weight of your bike rack with your bike racks on it, or your cargo carrier loaded down with all of your gear. Now for a gross trailer weight rating, we're looking at 4,000 pounds. That's going to be the weight of your trailer and everything that you have on that. Now keep in mind, it's always a good idea to take a look in your owner's manual and make sure you're not exceeding any of your towing weights that are in that. So it's always a good idea to go with the lowest number between your hitch and your owner's manual. Now if you have any questions or comments about this hitch for your Ford Edge, feel free to leave any comments down below in the comment section, or you can get a hold of one of our experts here at eTrailer. Now as far as installation goes, this is pretty straightforward. There isn't a whole lot of trimming, and it's something you could definitely do yourself pretty easily. But if it's something you don't have time to do, or you just don't have the tools, you can always take a look at our dealer locator and get something done for you locally. If it's something you want to tackle yourself, stick around, watch our video, and we'll help you get it installed. To start our installation, we're going to need to drop our exhaust down. So I'm going to take a cam buckle strap, and I'm going to just get it hooked up, get that tightened up, and that's going to support our exhaust when we remove our isolators. On the back of our vehicle, we're going to have 2 isolators that are supporting our exhaust. With that, what I like to do is take a little bit of soapy water and then just kind of spray it around the ends of our isolators and move the exhaust around after I do that. I'll do that on both sides, work that soapy water in. That's going to make them a little bit easier to remove. Now I'll just take a pry bar, or you can use an isolator removing pliers. But I'll just use a pry bar and just get that moving off the end. Once we get that so far, pull back on our exhaust, push that off, and we'll do the same on the other side. Now that we have those off, we'll just lower our cam buckle strap. I want to hold up on the exhaust and bring this down nice and easy. That way, we'll have more room to get our hitch in place. On each side of our vehicle, we're going to have these plastic under panels. We're going to need to get these out of the way. So we're just going to use a 10mm deep well socket and remove these. Sometimes these will have a little rust on the threads, so you may want to shoot them with some penetrating oil just to get them to break loose. On the outer edge of our panel, we're going to have two 7/32 screws. We're just going to get those out of the way, and we'll follow this same procedure on the other side. With the hardware off, now we can remove our panel. Now we'll need to get our hardware put in place, and in our kit we're going to have these fish wires. And we're going to be using this hole right up here on the side. We're going to be using this hole and this one right here. So what I want to start with is this forward one, and I'm going to kind of run that back. And back here in the back of our frame, there's going to be a little square in the back part of our frame, and we're just going to feel around for the little coiled end to come through. And that's where we're going to get our hardware through. It can be a little tricky because of the space back in there. You don't have a whole lot of room. Now we just want to pull the coil through, make sure the wire end doesn't go through the frame, so be careful of that. Take your block, run that onto the coil, and then follow that up with your carriage bolt. Just thread that onto your fish wire. Now first, we want to pass our block through, make sure we're holding our wire, pull past the block through the hole in the rear of the frame. Just pull forward a little bit, push your carriage bolt through, and once we get it to the hole, we just want to wiggle that around and get that to drop in place. We're going to follow that same procedure for these three other holes. Now normally what you would do is you're going to leave your fish wires in place for these. This one, I'm going to be actually taking it off and reusing it. I'm just going to be really careful when I put my hitch in place. But definitely when you want to leave a wire on is this upper one here, because you're going to have to push this bolt back into the frame to get your hitch put in place. Now with an extra set of hands, Brad's going to help us lift our hitch into place. For our side bolts that go through the frame, we have them pushed back in, so we can get our hitch to come up and clear. That's actually going to help us out. We just want to run our fish wire through a corresponding hole. And once we lift our hitch into place, then we can pull our bolt through, let our hitch rest on that. And now we can install the rest of our hardware. Now we'll just take one of our flange nuts and get that installed on all of our hardware. Now we'll come back through and snug down all of our hardware with a 19mm socket. To get at this rear bolt that's tucked back in here, it is a little tricky. So it is slotted a little bit. So if you could push that over, away from the edge of this flange, do that, and then use an extension with a wobble, and I'm using a shallow 19mm socket. And just get it up in there. Go ahead and snug that down. Now that we have our lower bolts, our nuts tightened up, we're going to do our side ones and get those snug down. Now we'll go back through and torque down all of our hardware to the specifications listed in our instruction manual. If you don't have a torque wrench, you can pick one up here at eTrailer. We do have some options available, or you can take a look at your local auto parts store. You should be able to rent one there. Now in your instructions, you're going to have some measurements you're going to want to go by to cut out your plastic. This is just basically going to make a bit of room for where the hitch is, and we're just going to go ahead and get this cut out. I'm going to use some snips, but you can use either a utility knife or something like that to get this done. I'm going to go ahead and get our cuts done. And we'll be doing the same measurements on both panels. Now we'll come back through and get our trimmed panels reinstalled. Only one of the nuts that we removed will be getting used, but we will be still using the other screws in the side. Now we can get our exhaust put back in place. I like to use some soapy water on this again. Just makes it a little bit easier. I'll just spray it on the pins and the isolators. That'll make it go back in place a little bit easier. With those back on, we can remove our cam buckle strap. And that was a look at our eTrailer Class 3 hitch for 2016 Ford Edge. I'm Scott with eTrailer, and thanks for watching.